Hey, I'm Danny Issac. We're here to talk about Kinect Sports Rivals, and you're watching Connected Digital World.
Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you. It's a pleasure.
Would you like to introduce yourself and tell us who you are and what your role is?
Sure. My name's Danny Issac. I'm the executive producer here at Rare, and basically I just look at across the whole product, the quality of the product, the time we're spending and the money we're spending on it, and make sure it all comes together to build the best experience that I can.
And talking of the product,
Yes.
would you like to tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so Kinect Sports Rivals. Kinect Sports Rivals has been a labour of love for us here at Rare. I've been working on it for a couple of years, and really it's the reimagining of this Kinect Sports franchise on Xbox One. We have 6 sports, so we brought back what we call our fan favourites of tennis, bowling and football, or soccer, to our American friends, and then we really looked at the new fidelity we get from the sensor and introduced sports that just weren't possible before: target shooting, climbing and wake racing. And this is all wrapped in a metagame, so every time you play you get experience and coins, which allows you to buy cool power-ups. And then there's this common thread for it where we can actually use the quality of the sensors to scan you, build your champion and put you in the game.
Let's talk about that for a bit. I mean, obviously it's a Kinect game. Tell us about the champion and what that actually involves to create your own personal you.
Yeah, so the champion, was the seed of an idea a few years ago, and the team came up with actually 3 different pitches, and one of the pitches was the game was all going to be based around you. And so we said, well, why don't we take that bit and put them together into this game? And the code name was Awesome You. So we thought, well, how could we get you into the game, but just you on a good day? We had to work with a team out of Redmond called the Clark team, who were working on this very, very high-tech R&D. They were actually looking at something, I think it was like 3D videos or something crazy like that, and scanning technology, and we said, hey, that could actually help us. So we worked very, very closely with those guys, and again, with the fidelity of the new sensor, we scan, we've got all these infrared lights that scan you hundreds and hundreds of times, pick up the basic features on your face, the kind of 3D mapping of your face, hair colour, hair length, skin colour, basic body shape, and then we build this, what we call this champion of you. So we take you into our world as a champion, and the cool thing is it's not just the way you look, but the way you play, the clothes you wear, the power-ups that you equip, all goes into the cloud, so your champion will turn up in my game and will play the same way you do and use the same items you do.
So badly then. So obviously this morning I was scanned and had my champion created. I was actually surprised how easy it was, how quick it was, and how scarily lifelike it was. How have you managed to get it just that good?
How did we get champion as good? A lot of effort. To be honest, there was times when we thought it just wasn't going to work. Again, we don't realise as human beings how unique everyone is, how subtleties in our face, if you don't get it right, will push lightness out. I think the closest I can get is sometimes you may look at a picture of yourself and go, that's not me, just because the angles are there or the shadows aren't quite right. Now we're asking a computer to take all these inputs in and try to build something that looks like you. For the champion, we actually had a lot of R&D with, as I said, the core tech team in Redmond, some really cutting edge stuff. From a user research perspective, we went around the world to multiple places, multiple ethnicities, and just kept running the system over and over again. And then the guys took all this in, and we've got this massive database of input data. So every time they make a tweak, we run the changes through this database. So if we say, hey, look, we think skin tone's off, we make a tweak, run it through the database and say, okay, that's made it better or worse. And again, there's 7 billion people in the world, so we're only getting a fraction of that. So hopefully, as in your case, it came out really, really well. Sometimes it doesn't always do that, but we got very robust customization features as well. And more often than not, in my experience, we usually get the basic face shape right. So if the skin tone's slightly off or the hair's not quite right, we can go in and you can either be yourself or express yourself and be someone different.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you've also got someone rather famous to do a lot of the voiceover for
Yes.
it. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that and how you chose that particular person?
Yeah, so we got David Tennant, obviously from Doctor Who fame, to do the voiceover for the mainly for the champion experience, so he helps you along, and then also when you go into different parts of the in-game, go into screens for the first time, he will give you an explanation of what they do and why they're important. I think he's just got a fantastic voice. I mean, one of the challenges we have to the champion experience is it is rather mechanical, and we wanted to keep it magical. And I think at Rare, everything we do is sort of light-hearted fun. And I think David really brings that in there. And we've been listening to him. Well, he's been in the game for a good 4 months now, but I don't get bored of his voice or hear the same, because he's just got this lovely inflection, and there's a lovely tone and accent, and I think it really suits the experience well.
So when Xbox One came out last year, you guys obviously released pre-season as a free download. That's done quite well for you. How did you go about deciding which of the sports to give as part of pre-season, and what have you guys learned from that?
I think from the sports perspective, weight racing was always up. Actually, the first product sport we built was weight racing, so that was the furthest along. But more importantly, we wanted to really show meaningful competition. And I think out of all our sports, although climbing's close as well, and as we've seen in the community, people are racing to hundredths of a second to get the fastest lap time. And we really wanted to show a sport whereby you didn't have to have big movements. In fact, weight racing is easier if you have very small, subtle movements. So it's a subtle lean. You really got to pick that line, and there'll be pixels distance from hitting the edge of a buoy or the edge of the cliff wall, or actually getting that line, or buzzing a mine. And it was one of my favourite sports, and I really love that people have been able to pick up the fidelity of the sensor and how different that sport is from anything that's come before.
And you mentioned as well this morning about various updates to the game. Do you want to tell us a little bit about those?
Yeah, so as I said, we're really, as you play the game and you get onboarded, you'll get to meet the teams, and they kind of take you to a point where you get to choose them, and then they kind of go away, so it's a bit of a ... As we look forward, we'll be having a number of updates coming up over the next few months to really bring them back again and use them in different ways. We also, as in all our titles, we have telemetry, so we can see what people are playing, obviously anonymous, so we don't know who they are, but we can generally see patterns and trends. So we'll be looking at that and seeing what people like, and see if we can give them more of that, or if they want something else dialed down, we'll see if we can do that as well. I think the box itself, even on 360, we were starting to do that. But I think generally, when I look at the industry, and especially in the mobile space, people expect their experiences to evolve and change over time. I'm always amazed where someone gives someone away for 69p and then they get berated because they haven't updated the app quickly enough. But there's an expectation there. From a game maker, it's an opportunity for us, because there's never been a game I've put out where I said, that's perfect, I couldn't touch it even if you gave me another 6 months. So there's lots of ideas we would have loved to have got in.
Okay. And are you planning on doing quite a lot of updates, or have you already got like a roadmap that you can...
We have a roadmap, but anyone who's done anything in this space knows that roadmap's wrong. Right? It's going to be wrong. It's a guide that we can go to, but depending how people play and depending how people engage, we'll do less and more on that. We've designed the product to be evergreen, by the look and feel of it, the kind of type of game it is as well. Hopefully people will see how great it looks. But I believe, Christmas and the following Christmas, it'll still look great, it'll still feel relevant. And so we're really looking to see how the engagement goes, and hopefully we'll be able to bring a lot of great content along.
You obviously touched on teams. Do you want to explain how that works within the game?
Yeah, so when you get into the game, it's really important for us to really teach people how to play. Although it's still much more accessible than most games because of multiple button inputs, it's still important for us to get certain things across. So like weight racing, it's more important to go forwards and backwards rather than up and down to really get the best experience. So rather than just do dry tutorials, we kind of mixed it up by introducing the coach, who kind of comes in and gives you some guidance, as well as building the slight story element of the teams. So ultimately, as you get what we call onboarded and go through and learn the game, when you get to the end of that experience, which is probably a couple of hours, you'll get to choose a team, and then we'll be using the service plan to really pay that off in the future.
And what's your favourite sport then?
My favourite sport, wake racing for me. I think it's maybe because it came up first, right? And as I said, I've been playing it competitively since E3, which was June 2013. Right, and I'm still happy to play it now. I play pre-season. I just like the fidelity of the control, and it's whether if you like Kinect or not, it's still magical to not have to grab something and be there. Right? I showed it to my family a few weeks ago, and they're flabbergasted. Right? They really are flabbergasted. And as developers, we just take a lot of this stuff for granted. And So I guess that was my favourite.
Perfect. And last question then, there are quite a lot of Easter eggs in the game. Without spoiling anything, do you want to maybe give people a few hints where to look?
Yes, there's a number of them. In the champion experience especially, there's a few things in there that I think we had some comments hit the press a while back on one or two of them that may turn up in there. So and that's just fun. Just what I love about that, it just shows it's just what we do at Rare. Like, we could have just finished it off, but again, of course, time's always tight, and you look at every single minute you're spending on anything. But it's like we thought it was important to put little things around. There's also some nods to old Rare IP in the game as well. So certain places you'll see little adverts or little. If you know Rare IP well enough, you better put one and one together.
So are we not likely to see a Kinect GoldenEye soon then?
Yeah, not a Kinect GoldenEye, but I think one of the guns is actually a golden gun. There's a lot of the guys had a lot of fun with stuff in there.
That's cool.
It's cool, and and again we have a rich heritage, right? We have all this really cool content, so it's great to be able to celebrate that.
Excellent. And when's the game out?
Game out will be on April 11th here in Europe.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thanks for your time.